Welcome to the Neurophilosophy project. I'm Dr. Bison. I'm a board-certified neurologist and nothing here is medical advice. Let's begin with the claim I made in the title. You didn't choose to watch this video. Not with complete freedom, not with complete consciousness, not in the way you believe. And I say that not as a philosopher, but as a neurologist. Tonight, I'm going to walk you through every component that created your choice and why free will might be the most convincing illusion your nervous system ever produced. Let's start simple. You didn't choose to see this video on your screen. The algorithm chose it for you based on thousands of data points. What you have watched before, when you open video, how long you linger on videos, the topics people similar to you like to watch. Your menu of options was engineered for you. You can't choose freely from options you were never given, right? But this is too obvious. Let's go deeper, because the real story is in your head. The moment this video appeared on your screen, your brain already had an arousal state, a cognitive load, a dopamine level, an emotional residue from the day or from the week if you are having a rough week, a threat safety ratio prediction, a default mode network baseline, and a motivational gradient that would eventually move you. All of these influence what feels interesting, boring, worth clicking, or worth ignoring. You don't freely choose your interest. Your nervous system generates it for you. It generates before you are aware of it. I know you feel like you made a decision, but from neurological standpoint, feeling like it is really a low level of evidence. Feeling like it doesn't make things real. By the time you decided, the decision was already made. This is the part that bothers people. Your conscious mind does not generate decisions, it receives them. Imagine it like a press secretary who explains decisions she didn't write. I can make a lot of political jokes here, but I'll resist the temptation. I'll behave for now. Now, the point is, in the decision-making process, your consciousness is the last to know. Also, everything that shaped you shaped this moment. Your childhood, your exposure to your culture, your traumas, your biology, your attachment patterns, your neurochemistry, you name it, your prenatal environment, your first heartbreak, your genetics, epigenetics, your everything. All these shaped neural pathways that determine what you find meaningful, what you fear, what you chase, what you avoid. You didn't choose your past. Yeah, I guess that is the bottom line. You didn't choose your past. The past of your past chose your past, which eventually chose your now and this video. I am emphasizing this because it is the core of my argument. Now, some of you who are knowledgeable about quantum physics might type in the comments like, what about quantum computation in the brain? So let's address that. Full disclaimer, I'm not a physicist, I don't know much about it, but here's what I understood when I read about it. There are two camps. Camp 1 is Roger Penrose and Stuart I always forget his last name. Hameroff. These two are in one camp, and together they propose that microtubules inside neurons maintain quantum states long enough to impact consciousness. On the other hand, in Camp 2, there is an MIT physicist here in Boston, Max Tegmark, and he calculated that any subatomic quantum effect would decohere in the brain much faster than to influence a single neural firing. He literally crunches the numbers and shows that coherence collapses far faster than the brain operates, because we know the speed of the neurons and speed of the particles in the subatomic level. But his conclusion is quantum processes cannot be the foundation of cognition. Now, I don't know who is right, who is wrong. Again, I'm not a physicist, but I do know this. Even if the brain used quantum randomness, that randomness is not your decision. A coin flip in your skull is not agency. Randomness is not free will. That being said, I want to criticize something about my side of the argument. Sometimes some people who support there's no free will act in a so intellectually lazy way to the level the whole argument itself collapses. That's why a bad argument bothers me. For example, I saw a video from Alex O'Connor, and that is not me attacking him in any way. I actually like the guy, and the video was from years ago, to be fair, from like 7 years ago, and he grew up and improved a lot since then. But in that particular video, he bypasses the whole physics, mathematics, and biology. I swear I'm not even exaggerating. This is his argument. This is the summary of his video. He says that you either do something because you want to or because you are forced. Okay, obviously. If you are forced, there's no free will. Okay. If you do it because you want it, again, no free will, because you cannot unwant what you want. If you eventually unwant or change your want, then changing your want would be what you wanted. So there's no free will because of that reason. What? By this logic, yes, free will is just not possible in any universe, in any imaginable way. Even if a God exists, he himself cannot have free will. I mean, let's draw a line here, guys. When we hear an argument, any argument, we should ask if you are convinced that X, Y, Z is correct, what evidence would actually change your mind? Because if a theory cannot be tested, it stops being science and it becomes a belief. And I don't want to be a neurologist sitting here doing theology. That's why I actually, and okay, you are going to be surprised to hear that, but I'm actually agnostic about this free will discussion. Because remember, this software, the software we call consciousness, is an emergence. And a famous cognitive scientist, Dennett, who was also from here, from Boston, has his real patterns framework, kind of proves that when two separate things come together, they make something else emerge, and that something else has different rules, which he calls patterns, which is his criteria for something being real. So that is where I stand about free will. Now let's dive into philosophy, because there's another problem, a big one. If we accept there's no free will, our entire moral framework collapses. Blame becomes incoherent. Punishment becomes questionable. Meritocracy becomes a fiction. The whole criminal justice, our justice system, becomes shaky, unstable. Blaming someone for what they did starts to look as irrational as being angry at the sun for disappearing at nights. But this collapse of morality occurs in slow motion, so it is not that destructive. When you think about it, centuries ago, people believed seizures were moral failures. Schizophrenia was being possessed by evil. Until recently, depression and bipolar disorders were considered weaknesses. We don't say that anymore, do we? Yeah, so the more we learn about the brain, the less blame makes sense. So it's kind of more compassionate world. And after I saw hundreds of patients with neurogenetic syndromes, neurodevelopmental disorders, neurodegenerative diseases, for me, the idea of fully self-determined person becomes harder and harder to defend. But at the same time, this is a dangerous territory, because what are you gonna do about it? What is your suggestion? Imagine an authority like a government saying that we analyzed your genetics, your epigenetics, your hormones, your culture, your trauma profile, to the level what you ate this morning. And we found out, we predicted, let's say by 99% accuracy, you will kill someone in 3 months, or something milder, like you will cross at the red light in the traffic. So let's prevent that now. Let's intervene now. That sounds like a dystopia. Although I'm not sure if that is a mandatory step before we reach to singularity. It just doesn't feel fun. The whole idea of no free will or determinism just makes everything unbearably boring. Imagine a God exists and talks to you and he says, oh, by the way, there's no free will, now you can continue your day. Everything just loses its taste. It's like a bad joke with no punchline. It is strange. So I'm sorry to tell you this, but there's no happy ending at the end of this video. Unfortunately, some of the ideas I discuss here in this channel, in this project, are dark. Probably you already recognized, but this is not a self-help channel. This is not a dopamine detoxing or 10 life hacks to change your life type of channel. This is an exploration of human experience, of consciousness at the level of neurons, evolution, and existential honesty. I think knowledge is meaningful, but I'm not sure if it makes you happier. And I'm truly sorry for that. But I'm happy that you are here, because I don't want to be alone with these thoughts. For that reason, I'll leave a link below so we can actually connect. in person someday or online for now. I want to build a small community, a group of people who think well together. Brains are not designed for isolation anyway. They literally start hallucinating when left alone for too long. So if you want to stay in the loop, you can add your email through the link. That being said, thank you for being part of the Neurophilosophy project. Reflect on this and we'll go deeper next time.